And there we go, we got that fantastic roasted red pepper and tomato soup served up with a cheddar cheese melt. Look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today an easy, tasty, a fantastic soup. We're making roasted red peppers and tomato soup. We are using tinned tomatoes. We're going to roast some peppers, a little bit of garlic in there. We've got herbs of choice. You can use what you want. Mixed herbs, Italian herbs, herb de Provence. The list is endless. You can use whatever you want. We're flavouring up the soup to how you want to make it. Got a little bit of stock and we're going to serve it with a grilled cheese. Let's get on. Come on. Peppers, first job. Now it's very, very easy to make a fantastic soup at home. You know, these peppers are actually, they're very good, but they were reduced. So, you know, come on, let's have them. Now, you can do this any which way you want. You can just slice it in half, or you can slice it up. Now, to slice it in half, obviously, you want the seeds out, okay? So you've got all that, or you've got that, okay? Entirely up to you, whatever you fancy. Nice and steady. We don't want the seeds at all. So let's whip those out of there. And it's not complicated. And we've got a tray, look. And what we'll do is we'll just chuck that in there as we're going along. That'll make it easier, won't it? So take those out of there. Roasted red peppers are just so easy to make, you know, and they bring so much flavour to different dishes, you know. Right, we want a bit of olive oil. Now we do actually want the olive oil to go on the skins of it if we can. We're going to try and blister the skins in there, you know. So it's nice and steady. Now of course you can do this with veg oil and things like that as well. It doesn't have to be olive oil, but we are eating it. We want something nice. I've got some garlic in there. Now when we roast this, we have to be careful of the garlic. I'm going to keep it all together, because we're going to have to take it out. That is going to cook a lot quicker than that pepper. So we'll have to take the garlic out while the pepper carries on. In there. Blistering it up, we're going to take the skin off and we're going to have a smoky pepper flavour. Onion. We want to dice the onion. You can fine dice, big dice, any dice. Doesn't matter, it's entirely up to you. In there. So basically that's our prep done. There's our onions. We've got a tin of tomatoes, and what we'll do when we cook, we'll actually tip the tomatoes in and then we'll cut the tomatoes with a pair of scissors. You can use chopped tomatoes, not a problem. However, I like to see tomatoes, and I know these are whole plum tomatoes. So we'll just wait for that to come out of there and we'll carry on. Okay, you need to be checking your garlic. And if it's got a little bit of colour, it comes out. Leave the peppers to blister. So you can see here, look, they've got a little bit of colour, and you can see they're going soft. That is perfect. That is exactly what we want. Now the thing is, if you burn the garlic, you risk of a bitter taste in your soup. This way it's going to be sweet. It'll have that slight nutty undertone. Fantastic. Just leave to one side whilst they carry on blistering. It's a very easy cook. Okay, we got a bit of blistering going on there. That will do. Now if you can blacken it, you get a smokier flavour. Now what you have to do before it cools down is you have to get that out of there, into a bowl like that. And we need to cover it. You need to cover this quickly. We need the steam from the cooking to soften the skins. Now you can chuck it all in a plastic bag, anything you want, but that will do the job. Just leave it about 10 minutes tops and we'll just peel the skins off. We should be steamed enough there. Now you can leave it longer, let it cool down in there, it doesn't matter, but we're going to crack on, so I'm going to risk not getting burnt. So basically what we're looking at doing is peeling the skin. Okay, as you can see, the skin comes off like that. We don't want the skin. Little bits of skin, not a problem. If you've got a lot of skin on there, it is a problem. Even though we're going to blend it, we don't want to see black bits floating around in our soup. So just be a bit careful. So there you go, we got our lovely roasted peppers. We got a little bit of juice in there, and we got the skins that we discard. Okay, we're on with a straightforward cook. Get a pan on. Now it's very straightforward for this. It's a case of put some olive oil in if you want olive oil, or if you want to go butter, and just to show you, there you go. And we want to be going in there with our onion. Little tad of salt. That's going to help bring out that moisture from those onions. And we want a little bit of pepper in there at the same time. Now this is a very, very flavorful soup. You know, it's not just the tomatoes in there. You know, got that underlying roasted pepper. It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. And obviously we got the roast garlic. So it's just a nice little saute on those onions. Cook out the rawness, soften them up. If you get colour, so be it, but we're not after any colour whatsoever. So try and not cook it too high. And of course this soup freezes. So you can make a batch, eat it one day, freeze it, little pots, take it out, defrost it, microwave it, cook it in a pan, whatever, have more soup. Cook once, eat 3 or 4 times. Fantastic, especially if you live on your own. So I'm going in there with my herbs. Like I say, this is open to choice. Mixed herbs, Italian herbs, herb de Provence, anything you fancy in your soup. Just dried basil, thyme, basil and thyme, up to you. Now you can use fresh as well, but dried works very well. It has a higher intense flavour. Tomato juice from the can in now. A nice little stir around there, look. Now, like we say, I use whole tomatoes. Just chop them up in the tin with a pair of scissors. You know, all these people that crush, in fact I've done it myself actually. All these people that think it's, you should just crush them up with your hands. You know, it goes all over the place, come on. I've done it myself and splattered the kitchen, you know. Not worth it. Now, we don't have to go too small with the tomatoes because we're going to blend. So there's just a nice little stir in there, look. In there with that roasted garlic that we roasted in the oven. That's in there. In those with those peppers and that juice. Now you can chop it up, but like I say, we're going to blend it, so it doesn't matter. Just let that cook in there with all of that. Now we are going to cook this uncovered actually, which will be nice and steady. And I'm just going to go in there with a little bit of regular paprika. You don't have to. You can go in with chili flakes, you can go in with cayenne, you can do anything. Come on, it's a soup, you know what you like to eat. And I'm also going to go in with some tomato puree. Now that is completely optional if you don't want an intense tomato flavour, but I do. We're making a tomato soup. Stock, chicken stock, veg stock, anything, but you know, if you're going to keep it veggie, veg stock. It's up to whatever you have on hand or whatever you make. And it's a case of just simmer this for about 20 minutes. So bring it up to a simmer. We're going to cook it uncovered so it intensifies and cooks off a little bit. Okay, when you've done about 20 minutes, everything's nice and soft, look. We're going to turn that off. We're going to give it a blend. So if you've got a stick blender, you can do it straight in the pan. If not, chuck it in a blender, blend it up and put it back in the pan. And there we go. Okay, so you want a little flame back on, in with a little bit of cream, just to put that creaminess in our roasted red pepper tomato soup. Just makes it a little bit more luxurious, you know. That is absolutely beautiful soup, made very, very easily. Okay, our toasty doesn't get any easier, to be honest. In here, I've got butter and I've got mayonnaise. Give those a mix in. There we go. Our toasty then, I've got some bread that's been sat on the side here, look. Right, now what we're going to do is straightforward on there. Okay, now come all the way up to the edges. You know, it's going to be dry as heck at the edge if we don't. So come all the way up there. And then it's obvious, isn't it? Okay, job done. There you go. We're all the way to the edge on both of those, look. So my freshly grated cheddar. I have a red cheddar and I've got a very strong mature cheddar. So in we go. Bring it up to the sides. Now I've opted for cheddar on this one, but obviously if you want to go mozzarella and things like that, please do so. Just for a change. Now it's not going to give us that cheese pull the same as using a mozzarella or any other stringy cheese. We're not after that. We're after a cheese toasty to go with our fantastic soup. Nice and straightforward, completely cold pan. Take your cheese, toasty bottom, and put your top on. Like that. Top on there. Lid on there. Flame on as low as possible. That's going to perfectly toast the one side. Then we're going to flip it and toast the other. That is it. That's the secret to a perfect toasty. Okay, so giveaway. The cheese is started to melt in there. So let's be turning these over. Nice and steady in the pan. Oh, beautiful toasty. Come on. That's what we're after. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Toast the other side and we're going to serve up. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Good crunch on the top. That will do. That's our melty cheese. Look at that. Oh, that is awesome. Come on in there with our soup. Oh, fabulous. That is a decent bowlful right there. You know, and if you want it to be posh, just put a bit of parsley on there, but... And there we go. We got that fantastic roasted red pepper and tomato soup served up with a cheddar cheese melt. Look at that. That is absolutely sensational. You can't go wrong with something like that. Easy to make, delicious. We are in on this absolutely beautiful soup. Now, a soup like this should be eaten warm, not steaming hot. However, if you like it hot, eat it hot. That is amazing. Oh, there's no two ways about that. That is delightful. We got this cheese, got this all this melty cheese in here, look. Come on, dunk it in, who cares? That is absolutely amazing. That mature cheddar, that is really strong mature cheddar actually. Wow. That is fantastic in that soup. Obviously it's tomatoey. It's got an underlying roast pepper taste. And we know that garlic's in there. We know that onion's in there. That's just a base, you know, that's not coming through as any strong flavour. We know it's in there. So there you are, that is our fantastic roasted red pepper tomato soup. Look how lush that is. Just look at that. And our grilled cheddar cheese. Absolutely fantastic, good meal. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to share with your friends. Tell them how easy this is to make. Oh, come on, it's simple. And if you do like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. Oh, dunk that in there, come on.